Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be looking at Phantom. This is going to be our lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, before we jump into the micro analysis here, we're going to go over the two main ideas that we are looking for here. Now we have the possibility that we could see this as a bigger A. This is a B, and what we're looking for here is a C wave to the upside. 1-to-1 is currently at this $84. If we look at the lower target area, that would be the 0.618. This would be our minimum requirement, but really if this is going to be an ABC, what I would like to see is a break of this A wave high. So if we are looking at that possibility, what we could potentially look for as interesting levels would be this 854 and this 786, sitting here at this 6876 and this 6264 as possible targets to the upside. So what we'd want to see here with this count is effectively we'd want to see this low hold here, and then we'd want to see another third, fourth, and a fifth to the upside, looking for ideally this 1-to-1. But like I said, we need to be cautious about this possibility of truncation here. Now if we start to lose this low, this becomes less probable, and we would be looking at the possibility that rather this is looking at a more corrective structure, because we've already come down into the 786 to this 854. We don't really want to see this break down any deeper. Now moving over here and having a look at the more bearish situation, where we could be looking for a direct break to the downside without seeing such a big push to the upside. What we could actually have here is that this move internally could just form three-wave structure, and we fail to break above this 51.55, and our target zone would be between that and this zone of this 3275. Now if we do just see something like this as a three-wave move to the upside here, this 50% level is going to be an interesting area to me, but I also do have this 0.382 on the chart here. Now it is possible that this B wave could be completed already here, but looking at this in time duration, I would be looking more for something like this to play out, where we get a bit of a bigger B wave here, though sometimes we can get really short B waves, and we could look for this to actually complete directly to the downside in this way. Now we could also argue that what we have here is a bigger ABC pattern, in which case what we're looking for is that possibility of a fifth wave to the downside here, where this becomes AB, and then we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for this fifth wave down. Now we've actually met the minimum requirement here, which we can look for, which would be the 0.382. The problem is the structure is not great currently. So if we're looking at it in this way, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for this to be a fifth wave, unless it was something like this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern. But even then, it doesn't have great structure internally. So I'm looking at this more at the idea that we could see a three-wave move up. However, if we do see something like this play to the upside, we fail to break back above this 3364, we could technically still look for continuation to the downside in 5 waves at that point. So going to be just watching this to see how the structure actually plays out. Okay, so let's focus in on this little bit that we've got over here. Now, if we are looking at this move to the upside here, I'm looking at this in two main ways here. So what we would be saying is that we could be looking for this possibility here of a bigger A, B, and a C pattern. Now, we can count this move in two ways. We have the potential where this is just completely corrective, in which case what we're saying is that this structure to the upside here is WXY, and this is our A wave, in which case what we are saying is we're looking for another three-wave move to the downside for a B wave. So we've already come down towards a 786 level, and we don't really want to see this level break again really. If we start to break back below this 23 cent 43, this would make this less likely in looking to continue to the upside. What we'd want to see here is this low hold here at this 22.89, and then we'd want to see continuation to the upside for this C wave. 1-to-1 would be here towards this 35.62, and what we would be looking for within this case would be 5-wave structure to the upside. Now it is possible we could also argue this would be WX, and then we get 3 waves to the upside. Same sort of targets here would be this 35.62 level. Now if we do see price break down here, we need to just be a little bit careful, because what we can also argue here is that within this structure, we could also argue that this is an A wave here, this is a B wave, and that the C wave isn't completed. Now focusing in on this lower level, if we come in here, we can see that what we have is just a single move down here. So we could say this is a C wave, but it missed out on this 0.618, which is making me think that there's still potential here for continuation to the downside. Now, if we do see something like this as A, B, and C, what this could mean is that we could actually see price come back down towards some of these lower levels here. So we have this 786 sitting at this 2187, we have this 2153, and then lower down here below our invalidation point we do have this 20 cent 81. Now if we are looking at this as a corrective move here, what we could always get is that this could be we could get W, X, and then we get a Y wave, which actually overshoots the origin of this A wave and actually looks to push down into this lower target box here, this 2133 to this 1804. So if we do see price come back into these lows and look to find support as a double bottom, or alternatively, even if we push down towards this 1923 to this 1804 area, we need to be on the lookout that this isn't becoming a bigger flat correction, in which case we could see a 5-wave move up and then see that continuation down at a later point. So this is what we need to just be watching out for here. If we do see this move develop to the downside one more time, where actually this structure that we have here is just an A wave, where effectively this becomes A, we get B, and then we look to break down one more time towards, like I said, this 121, this 2081, or some of these lower levels here that we've got, we could potentially then look for this move to complete from that point. If we stay above this low, then the bullish count can potentially look to play out. Alternatively, if we lose this low, this corrective move where we actually just get this as a bigger flat correction could still be on the cards. In which case, what I would be saying is that we're looking for that possibility of a move back up in this B wave still at a later point, which would be probably between this 37.39 and this 32.75. So if we see this move develop as A, we get a B wave down, we could still look to sweep these lows here and then still get a 5-wave move to the upside here, and this could still be this B wave. So we'll have to watch and see how the internals play out here, but effectively we could look for that possibility of a move up. Now the other way we were talking about this move is saying that what we could actually see is that this could be a diagonal pattern, and we're looking for this as a potential B or a wave 2. Now within that secondary count, we were saying we were looking for this possibility of a break to the upside here. What we're saying is that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if this is the case, this could be W, this could be X, and then we could be looking for this as a Y wave or a C wave. Now, as a C wave, it's not great internally. We can argue that potentially within the structure we have this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the problem that I have with that is the fact that this wave 2 would be so small. Now, the only other way we can get around that is if we say that this is 1, 2 here. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then actually we have a diagonal pattern over here to complete our 3rd wave, and then this becomes our 4th and our 5th. So effectively what this would be saying is that internally what we'd have here is that this move is 1, 2, 3 here, 4, and then 5. So if we do see something along these lines, then potentially we would be saying, okay, well, we could be completed, but we don't have enough confirmation of this until we actually start breaking above this 4th wave area here at this 2606 and back above this higher area of this 3189. We need to be careful of that possibility that we could still look to extend to the downside. Like I said, this could be A, B, and then C one more time, and we could still look to push down for that Y wave if it's going to be looking at this as a bigger WXY pattern. Could look to push down one more time for an ABC, or alternatively, you know, if we do manage to hold this low, we could start to move to the upside. Now, the problem that I have within this, trying to count this as an impulse, is it wouldn't make a lot of sense given the structure here. The only way that you could potentially say that this was playing out was that within the structure here we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the upside, where we have an extension within the 5th wave. But if this is the case, effectively what we'd be saying then is that we're looking for a wave 2 to play out. Now, if this is a wave 2, effectively what we'd have to do here to confirm this is actually contain this move to our lower support range. So we wouldn't want to see price action move down below this 23.37. If we do see price potentially come back down here where this is A, B, and C, what we could then see is that possibility of continuation to the upside. Given the current structure that we have here, what we would be looking for as a possible target would be this 1-to-1 here at this 24.21. If we do move down lower here, potentially this 50% could align with coming back down in between this 1-to-1 and this 1.618. What we'd have to be careful of, however, is that if we do get this as 1-2 here, and we get a bigger 5-wave move down towards this 1618, this could align with this becoming a 5-wave pattern. Now if this becomes a 5-wave pattern here, this would mean that we're going to potentially be getting another 5-wave structure to the downside, which would align with the idea that this is A, this is B, and then we're looking for that lower C wave. So need to be careful of this. If this support box holds here, this 2337 to this 2398, we can potentially look for continuation to the upside here. But what we would need to then see for confirmation of this, now I'm going to go into this 50% level, is we'd need to see a move up past this 2776 to confirm this as a bigger 3rd wave. Alternatively, if this is going to just be a 3-wave move, what this could be is A, B, and C, in which case we'd still have to be careful then, because if we just get a 3-wave move to the upside, this could just be a corrective structure and mean that we still have that additional leg to come down one more time here. So until we actually see this support area hold and we get a move up towards this 2776, we need to be cautious of this idea that, you know, we could still look for that continuation to the downside, though as long as this low holds here, this 2294, potentially that could start looking to come to play. Whether this is just a bigger A, B, and a C, and then we start to form a bigger corrective move to the upside, or alternatively this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If we do get a bigger move up here towards this 2776, then we can look for this possibility of this continuation to the upside in a 5th wave, if we do manage to hold support here at this 2625 after this move to the upside. Coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR, what we can see is that we have actually printed higher CPR lines here. Now, what I'm interested in seeing here is whether we can actually hold these new central CPR lines for today, which would actually be this 24.34 and this level here of this $24. If we do continue to hold this level, what we could potentially see is price could then look to move to the upside. Targets to the upside for today is this 25.42. We have this level here of this 26.33. We have this 27.59 and this 28.49 as possible upside targets. If, however, we start to lose these central lines, what I would be looking for as a potential support, which would align still with the idea of this being a retracement, would be here at this 23.26. If we start to lose this 23.26, though, this could actually imply that we're going to start to see price break down in a bigger way. 22 cents is going to be lower area, 21 cent lower down, and 19.83 if we see price continue to break to the downside. If we do see price breaking down in this way, this could actually align with that idea where we're starting to get that bigger breakdown. We need to just be careful of that. If, however, we hold this support zone, we can look for that possibility once again of a possible move to the upside here. Having a look at the weekly CPR lines here, what we can see is that we actually did come back up to our S1 line here, and if we do look to break down here, once again, we do have the potential to find support here at this 23.70. Now, if we do find support in this zone, possibly we could then look at this as the idea of a bigger wave 2 looking to develop here, where possibly we get something like this as an A wave, 3 waves up, and another move to the downside, something like that playing out. Or alternatively, if we do start to break down in a bigger way, this could align with that 4th and a 5th area. In which case, if we do get that 5-wave move down, like I said, we need to be careful that that doesn't become a bigger impulse to the downside. So other targets to the downside for this week, if we lose this area here of this 23.70, would be this 22.55. Now, price can always look to move through these levels, so we need to be aware of that. If we do, however, look at that idea that possibly we could get a shorter move here, if we do see price push to the upside here, I would be interested to see how we react at this 25.71 to this 25.91. If we can reclaim these lines, effectively some targets for this week is this 26.75, 27.89, and this higher level here of this 28.87. So if we do see price look to move to the upside here, potentially we could look to find some resistance at these certain levels. Having a look at the monthly CPR lines here, what we can see is that we have found temporary support here on our S1 line. Now, if we do look to come back to the downside again here, we could potentially still look to find support on this at this 23.40. If we start to lose this level, however, then we do have open targets for this month down here towards this 1636. This 1634, we have this 1137 as possible targets for this month. Now, if we do see price come back to the upside here, we could look to find resistance between this 27.33 and this area here, this 29.41. So even if we do see a move to the upside here, we need to just be careful that this doesn't look to then roll over from that point and then look to break down. If we do manage to reclaim these targets for this month, we still have open targets here of this 35.48, 40 cent 55, and this 47.40 to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.